Welcome, Chiefs Kingdom. Thanks for tuning in to this Red Kingdom Media production, bringing you raw, authentic Chiefs coverage. Make sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on your team. Now sit back and enjoy the show.
This is the Red Kingdom Media live postgame show.
Merry Christmas, Red Kingdom Media followers, as it is week 17 and Chiefs vs. Steelers is officially in the books, and it's a good one for us as the Chiefs come out on top 29-10, officially getting that 15th win, record high for a single season for the Chiefs, and more importantly for this season, officially clinched the number one seed in the AFC playoff picture, as probably sending most of the starters to the bench for Week 18 versus the Broncos. And the Broncos will play this Saturday against the Bengals to determine whether the Week 18 game will be a necessary game for the Broncos in return. So the Chiefs officially win this game by 19 points, one of, if not the largest point differential the Chiefs have won by this season. Comes against a playoff team, one that had TJ Watt coming back in a time to really ball out in this game. Same for George Pickens. But nevertheless, your Kansas City Chiefs have a positive Christmas Day experience, unlike last year, and hopefully sets the tone for the playoffs to come. But Lonnie, Dale, what are your thoughts about this Chiefs versus Steelers game on Christmas Day?
Yeah, overall, I love what I've seen from the Chiefs. I think this was one of the best games, better performances. I think everybody will really have the same take when it comes to the Chiefs. I mean, we didn't see a lot of pressure or hits on the quarterback. He was fairly clean throughout the day. Xavier Worthy had another strong showing offensively, catching balls all over the place, just getting incorporated to the offense. It looks like he's really getting his legs up under him. And then a really, really big conversion on 3rd and 15 to Xavier Worthy. I mean, not to Xavier Worthy, to Hollywood Brown. That is a part of our offense that we were missing since Rashee Rice has been out since the Chargers games. And it's actually back, and it came back in the last game. So I absolutely love what I've seen from the Chiefs offense all around. Hollywood Brown is really, really has like magnificent timing with Patrick Mahomes. I was just talking to Dale off air. I was wondering what the offense would look like possibly if we had Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, and all of these guys healthy at the same time. Like, this would be a scary sight to see. These guys are really out here balling. You don't hear anything about drops anymore. It looks like a well-oiled machine. It's the offense that we thought it was going to be at the beginning of the year, but it finally came into form at the end of the year at the perfect time. And the same for the defense. Joshua Williams had some opportunities to make some plays today. Out there, it was a whole shot between him and Drew Tranquil where a guy was open, and he comes back and turns in and makes a play. So I love what I've seen overall from the team, even Felix getting around the edge and getting a sack. So everybody in every phase stepped up today, just like we need to in order to go into the playoffs and have success. And I love what I've seen from them.
It was a phenomenal performance from the Kansas City Chiefs today. And before even coming into this game, looking at anything, I said, today is going to be the day that the offense really, I think, shuts up the haters. And for those who are, of course, being real about the situation, I get that. Like, you're going to, of course, say what you see from like the offense at that point. They didn't look good at all. But I think this was, a coming out party to show that with Hollywood Brown in this offense, everyone who's healthy and is getting significant time as well too, and playing their role and doing their part. Hey, look how fluid this offense is looking. Now, when we do have penalties and we get into some ruts where, of course, that it put us behind the line of scrimmage and we have to work for that. Typically we are forced to play, right? But in this game, I saw overall, I liked how they did it, especially when we saw Hollywood Brown on 2nd and 15 where he did that slant, and it was very Tyreek Hill like, and you can see that him and Mahomes definitely have that connection, and you see that time that they worked with each other in the offense, well, in the offseason actually was worth it. It's actually worth it working, and this is something that we have heard positive about in training camp actually show out on the field as well too. So when he start getting more snaps, I think this offense is going to be a lot scarier, and the defense, they did great today. George Pickens, he had a couple highlight plays. Of course, that's what he does. He's a big play type of receiver, but overall they were able to contain. They did give up the most rushing yards that they have given up in the year, but they still didn't give up a 100-yard rusher. It was, of course, they was in the 70 each. They definitely split the load. Who knows if they would have got more carries, how it could be. But I think, overall they were able to get them off the field. They were able to force punts, and then they also got turnovers as well too. So this looked like a team going into the playoffs where if they're playing like this, they're definitely going to be difficult to stop. And with them in the route of a three-peat, it's going to be scary for a lot of teams. And I think fans like the Bills and other AFC teams as well that were hoping that were looking at this team and saying like, man, we can actually get them this year, and then see this performance against a playoff team that's going in and they're just looking for seeding at this point. Y'all said we were in these one possession games we should have been beat, but we're proving that we can beat these guys who are going to be in the playoffs as well too. I think it was a good sign to show like, hey, this Kansas City Chiefs team, you still got to look out for them. So great performance today. I love what I saw. Can't wait to get them guys some rest and see everybody in the divisional round when it comes January.
As Patrick Mahomes said after the game, I got to get that number 1 seed so we can go have that baby. So Patrick Mahomes' third child is on the way very soon, and he wanted to focus on that before this playoff run begins. So shout out to the Mahomes family whenever that happens. Obviously, with the number 1 seed officially locked up in Week 18, and not really mattering, you'll have time to get off that, quote, bad ankle that really had no effects, and just be ready to dominate once the middle part of January rolls around. But yeah, this is one of those games that we've kind of prayed for throughout this season, to just have both sides of the ball kind of dominate. And I'm not saying that but either side played perfect. The defense had some yards thrown against them, and the offense got kind of stood up a few times, but 0 sacks versus all the sacks on our side. That's a big win. 8 games earlier, that would not have been the case. Chiefs would have been losing that margin, no doubt. Turnovers had some fumbles, not necessarily bounced one way or the other, but the Chiefs were very fortunate to not have any mistakes go their way and capitalize on all the Steelers' mistakes. So all the times the Chiefs weren't capitalizing at the beginning part of the season, those numbers are starting to average out. And that's what you want, is your defense to kind of peak at the right time, let alone be kind of playing up to their potential, especially as Rod mentioned, and I was going to point out too, no Chris Jones. You had 5 sacks this game, several from just D linemen winning. And I shouted out Felix to you guys right after it happened, because when is the last time you let that Spags has let a speed rusher just outright play and win? Because it feels like that would be a deadly component. Cough Josh Uche as another rotation. If Felix is a flash that says, oh, hey, 2nd and 3rd down, we need to alternate these guys on different plays, and Charles Omenihu to chop, fumble, sack on the other side, and where Chris Jones eat up the middle. Like, just get this rotation squared away, because I think it could have a lot of potential. And if the D line can get their stuff squared away, it may cover up some of these defensive backfield holds, whether it be an open field zone by a corner or a neck safety or a linebacker, whoever it is, maybe even a defensive end or a defensive tackle in coverage, whoever it may be. We need to kind of get these plays secured so they don't get exposed like that. It's not necessarily their fault. It's just, where the attention is going towards. But, overall, I'm very satisfied with this game. I think the offense and defense can both expand on this more. And like I said, with the 1 seed officially locked up, you can have some key guys like Chris Jones, Travis, Patrick, the offensive linemen who are, your guaranteed starters that you're not in a position to lose for injury going into the playoffs versus some other ones that, let them see what you got and figure out your best lineup, whatever the case may be. But now we just kind of wait through this weekend of football and figure out what Week 18 means to several teams here in the AFC playoff picture, and how many seeds are locked up before the Chiefs ultimately play another game in what'll feel like several weeks after this short stretch of games in a row. So, any like overall thoughts you guys have before we kind of break this game down on either side of the ball?
Shout out to the offensive line. They held their own against a phenomenal pass rush duo. I know we're probably going to discuss that a little bit more when we talk specifics in both units, but you got to give your hats off to them. Tooney, he did his part, stepping in that left tackle, pushing out, and then Mike Caliendo. People were talking about that run, of course, that running game being not fair on that side of the ball because of Tooney having to be pushed out, but it looked a lot better today. Still some improvements that you can make, but yeah, I think overall they look good. Jawan Taylor, take away a couple of those penalties, solid. You look at those pass rush reps against TJ Watt was phenomenal. And I'm gonna let Lonnie bring it up because he was gonna be the one to bring it up later on anyway. So he gonna make mention of that. But shout out to the offensive line.
Yeah, and since they're not a side of the ball that we can talk about every single week, and they struggled, special teams, we got to work on some things. Butker, I know you're just coming back, but can't be missing point afters or field goal attempts in shorter situations. Found it very odd that, basically inside the 40-yard line, the Chiefs are not looking for 3 points and are still trying to pin teams back just for it to be a punt in the end zone for a touchback. And, I'm just tired of doing that same thing because it never works. I thought having Butker, we were going to fix that by kicking field goals, but it seems right now the Chiefs are still trying to ease their way in. So I think Butker's definitely going to be one of those players who's playing in Week 18 because he's a kicker. But I think special teams as a unit, both in kicking, in field goal block. We saw offsides that, added 3 points back onto the board when a missed field goal occurred. And Remigio almost coughed that ball out if it wasn't for Leo Chenal's numbers to push the ball right back into him. That could have ended up on the ground and, inside the red zone all right for the Steelers. And that game's a whole nother story. But the ball bounced in favor of the Chiefs a lot this year, unlike the Christmas game last year. So it seems like that magic tends to work on the visiting sidelines for these Christmas games. So here's for many years more of the Chiefs playing, if it is on Christmas, getting to watch it on TV where all of us can immediately jump on the post game right after and not try to balance going to the Chiefs game and spending the rest of our time with our family. So let's go ahead and officially dissect this game down. And we started talking with the offensive line, so it seems fitting. Let's just go ahead and talk about the team that, they got flamed on the TV for not having enough, points, and on all the other teams that also have not scored 30 points this year do not have the same record. Honestly, all the wins they have put together don't even add up to the amount of Chiefs wins for this year. But the Chiefs are managing to win these games without scoring high points, but the offense is still managing to be efficient and still kind of look deadly, even though it may be paper cuts versus knife wounds or something more extreme. So what do you guys think about this offensive production, and what do you see going into the postseason that you think the Chiefs can expand upon?
Yeah, so like Dale made mention of, I love what I see from the offensive line. I feel like if there's no continuity and efficiency up front, we are nothing. And we've seen that early on in the season. I think it's going to come in and start rearing its head late in the season as well when we play better teams. With that being said, I love what I see from Jawan Taylor and Joe Tooney today. They play absolutely wonderful. One of the best games against, like Dale said, two of the premier pass rushers in the league, Mr. TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith. Those guys are super duper athletic, very, very quick on the outside. You even seen Jawan Taylor had a couple holding penalties on the outside, but overall he did pretty good. And even TJ Watt, even JJ Watt had to give him credit, saying I think he did fairly well holding on, and he's hurt, and both him and TJ are hurt, but just like everybody late in the season, like they say, everybody is hurt. So I love what I've seen from Jawan Taylor. And like I was making mention to Dale, maybe we should have moved Jawan Taylor to left tackle. Maybe that may not have been a bad idea. Seeing him hold his own against a very athletic pass rusher like TJ Watt it was kind of promising. I love what I've seen from him out there, like I said, on the island by itself. However, like I was telling Dale, that means Wanye Morris would have been on right tackle. So, I don't know if it would have been any better because TJ probably would have just went over to the right side. However, I just think Jawan Taylor played good, and he kind of proved his worth, I think, today. I know he's playing up against a hurt TJ Watt, but I feel like he played one of his best games against one of the better pass rushers in the league. And it was late in the season when we know he's going to need to be in prime form. He's really rounding that corner and getting into that form. I thought he wasn't even going to play today, being that he was hurt going into this game. I figured he would have been inactive on a short turnaround. He's a lineman. He's hurt. He didn't finish the game. And he still played good against a good pass rusher. So hats off to Jawan Taylor. And hats off to the wide receivers too. They played absolutely lights out. I don't think that we ever have I'm not gonna say that. I don't think. Hopefully the dropsies are never coming back. It doesn't look like they're coming back anytime soon. So love what I've seen overall from the offense, but the offensive line. Shout out to the tackles today.
The offense, they look polished as a unit, honestly. Like, I really enjoyed what I saw. I think Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, and also Matt Nagy, Rod, he's definitely frustrated with him. You can go see it in his pregame write-ups. You can see. But I think they came into this matchup and said, we're not going to let their pass rush beat us today. And they saved the tackles. And also, you didn't even see too many chips as well too. So, on both sides, Tooney held his own, and also Jawan Taylor. But getting out quick to their playmakers, getting out to guys like Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, letting them do something with the ball. Also getting into Travis Kelce and DeAndre Hopkins as well too in those opportunities where they RPO'd them all the way down the field for a touchdown. They said hey, I understand we want to do something else, but at the end of the day, we're going to take what the defense allows us to do. And what we're going to do is we're going to execute. And what we saw them, do from previous games, they actually executed on those drives. And they didn't kill themselves as well either. A lot of the times in this game, the ball went our way with a couple drop interceptions, or also, getting it out quick as well too, being able to move up in the pocket. But I think overall, when they're moving the ball down the field, they're getting first downs, they're very confident, and they're confident that they are attacking that opposing defense as well too. I think they like the weapons that they have surrounded by them, saying this is really kind of the most talent we had from the Chiefs. I think you were scared to say that, Lonnie. This is really the most talent. I know we had Tyreek Hill and Sammy Watkins, but our 3s and 4s is better than what we had at that time as well too. I'm taking an Xavier Worthy. I'm taking a Juju Smith-Schuster. I'm taking, I'm not going to lie, a Justin Watson who's catching the ball all the way downfield 30, 40 yards more than a Xavier Worthy, who what he should be doing and having those connections. It's better than what we didn't have in previous seasons. Now, is it as explosive? No. But they're disciplined. They're not making those mental mistakes. I like what I saw from Hollywood Brown when he caught that slant and got the first down at the middle. And when you're going down and people coming from behind you, coming from those different angles, what they like to do, they like to swat. He said, nope, getting down, living, I got the first down, we're going to live to play another down. And he was cooking in the chemistry that he has as well too. So, on all, everything that the offense did today. I think they showed the entire league. They showed the entire AFC, like, y'all said this about us all season, and it looked ugly. How look now? And this is not no easy defense as well. Some of y'all was having hard time against this defense right here. They made it look easy. A TJ Watt hurt is better than most defensive ends that everybody that some of these teams have. So I don't want to hear that. You see how it's just Patrick Mahomes talked about it. He said when Hollywood Brown got him back into this offense, it made Xavier Worthy go back to what he was going to do best, which is play the position that he was meant to do. And guess what? The routes are working, and it's looking well. You got Juju Smith-Schuster, who is he's not selfish. He said, "All right, I play in this tight end role, fullback role. I slip out in there, but he's a blocker." What we saw him do in Pittsburgh. It's scary for the rest of the league. And y'all was happy about Josh Allen. That's cool. We ready to go. I think we ready to go 30 for 30. We can. And we got the defense that's going to get a stop or two as well, too. So we ready for that. So it's fun. It's fun. I liked it. Regardless of not going over 30 points, that was an efficient game from the offense. I'll leave it at that.
Absolutely. That's the synopsis of basically my thoughts about the offensive performance. Is with you, and you're dead on with Hollywood Brown back in the fold. That was enough for this offense to look like it was supposed to. And imagine if Rashee Rice could have stayed healthy and been in this offense, we'd have that much more dynamic. So that'll be a next season. Like, oh my gosh, imagine the possibilities tenfold of what they were supposed to be from this year. But the fact that the Chiefs have been able to get by without him just shows the impact that a kind of a full week in to see his production go up, to see everybody around him's production go up. Basically, Mahomes could throw it to just about any receiver in any given play and can feel confident that his target was going to be a reception and it was going to be positive yards and they were going to be able to move the drive and keep the clock moving or whatever the case may be. I'm very satisfied, and efficiency is the name of the game for me. I'm totally fine if this team decides their identity is to throw the ball for 5 to 12 yards at a time and some screens, some short passes, some RPOs, whatever the case may be. If that's what you feel like this team is to be, who they need to be to three-peat, I'm fine with that because it looked very efficient. A couple of the power runs weren't working as well as you would hope. Isaiah Pacheco got hurt toward the end of the game, so it looks like this is probably going to be Kareem's backfield going forward. So we'll see if Andy is willing to rely on the running game in those short yard situations. But we just saw last week the third and fourth 1 yard to go didn't work. So maybe that just tends to lean into this is a passing team. That's our identity. And I'm really happy to see that 3 touchdowns on the day, zero sacks overall. That's a blessing right there because just last couple of weeks we were saying if you could have 2 or 3 sacks, that would be just a bonus. But to see 0 and to just say that Mahomes could pretty much dice up anybody or run for it or the offense could move the ball and put up points. Frustrated the very first drive, had to use 2 timeouts just to get 6 points, a missed PAT and whatnot. But you can't change those circumstances. But then the Chiefs leaned into that and were willing to kind of keep the pressure on versus kind of let the Steelers come up for air and then go back for more. The Chiefs were willing to officially kind of put their opponent away. And, that's what we need to see now that officially playoff time is here, as we don't think that much of the starters are going to participate in the Week 18 game. Dale, I see you dancing around like you're shadow boxing. You got something to inform us about?
No, I'm just happy. I'm just satisfied. It was a lot. This is the most wins in team history. Now we just able to get over that. Well, due to the additional game, we're able to get 15. So I think that's cool, man. I think what we saw today. I don't think that was luck. I think that was really a masterful game plan that Andy Reid and actually Matt Nagy dialed up for this offense, and everything executed like it was supposed to. So having that, having that in order, and then being able to see what we have with Carson Wentz next week, just for fun, it's gonna be cool. And then hopefully GJ Humphries can be healthy because he's gonna have it's a decent rest depending on because we either might play that Saturday or Sunday next week. So they still got a good amount of rest that they have. He can get back under his feet, start getting back on the field, getting the helmet on. So if he looks, awesome and I think good next week, maybe we push Tooney back into left guard, have him out at left tackle, and then you have the line that you want to go with for the remainder of the postseason. So it's just it's just very exciting. That's all. Just happy about the outcome. Number one in the AFC.
Absolutely. And because we're so positive, it means nobody's going to care about this or watch it or now or later after the fact, because when the Chiefs are doing well, nobody cares. But when we have some problems, that's when we're in. I'm not saying that the defense was the problem area here, but let's go ahead and flip over to the other side of the ball and start moving this thing along. So we kept alluding to it over and over again. 5 sacks on the game, interception as well, some fumbles. So what do you guys make of this defensive performance, and do you think it's going to continue once Chris Jones makes it back on the field?
Yeah, I love what I've seen from the defense overall today. I think they play absolutely wonderful. They don't, like we said, they're missing bodies in the secondary. We all know it. And no, we didn't notice that at all today. Not only were they missing bodies in the secondary, but they were missing their captain up front, the leader of that defense, which is Mr. Number 95. And they were able to get to the quarterback more than they have any time all year. There was a team high in sacks today, which I find kind of funny. Spags was able to get home with 4. They were rushing with 4 guys. Even our guy Felix got in there and got a sack. So, I mean, we're starting to see the Chiefs really round that corner on defense, I think, too, as well. Not only was the offense stepping up and special teams stepping up, but the defense is also starting to look like they're coming into form. I think Trent McDuffie getting his hand on the ball again. He's a turnover magnet. Anyway, any shape, any form, he's going to find a way to create a turnover, and that's what he did again today. So I love what I've seen from the defense overall. I love what I've seen from, like I said, from Joshua Williams earlier. It was a whole shot they had between him and Drew Tranquil, and he was able to get back there and kind of get a PBU. So Joshua Williams played great. I think Najee Johnson played great. The whole entire secondary played great, but I really wanted to take my hat off to the defensive line because getting sacks without Chris Jones should not be easy. But they made it look super duper easy today. And y'all know who else was getting in there? Mr. Turk Wharton. Turk is quietly having one of the best seasons that he's had, I think, of his career. So he's going to be a scary sight. I mean, he keeps doing the money celebration, and I'm wondering why. It's like somebody's going to have to drop the bag on him. Somebody's going to have to come get Turk, and they're going to come grab him too, because not only can he sack the quarterback, but he has a magnificent ability to play the run. So I absolutely love what I've seen from the defense, but shout out to the defensive line in particular.
Defense balled out. Trent McDuffie, he got his turnover in another way. Not an interception this time, but he got the forced fumble. And that was able to, put the icing on the cake for the Kansas City Chiefs, taking away rest of the way. But like Lonnie said, that defensive line, they showed up and showed out. You gave your credit to, guys like Turk Wharton. Also, Mike Dana stepped up with 2 sacks as well, too. But I'm loving that bend that I'm seeing for George Karlaftis. It seemed like he was really taking advantage of that today. He was definitely getting behind, beating his guy on the outside and then forcing Russell Wilson up in the pocket. But I like the collapse that they had as well too, because we know with Chris Jones, that's always going to be a scary sight for the quarterback. But when he's out there, you feel like you got a little bit more freedom. At times, he was able to escape, but more than not, we were able to, of course, bring him down, which we had 5 sacks in total today. But great job from the defense, just keeping up the pressure. And Jaden Hicks, that boy's coming and he's hitting. Justin Reed went down for a little bit. He came in and he did his part as well too. So, this is somebody who had 2 picks straight last week, and then seeing the time that he's getting on the field as well too. He's making the most of it, and also he's looking like a dog. He got that big DBU PBU on George Pickens where he got a penalty on, but he had a right to flex on that because we know what George Pickens does to other opposing defensive backs when he embarrasses them. He always got a flex on them as well too, but at least it didn't cost us. Gave us, we had some yardage that of course went back, but at least it wasn't something that gave them the first down for them to of course continue the possession. But defensively, great job. Secondary look good. Defensive line look good. Linebackers look good. Stuff in the holes. Drew Tranquil doing his part. Leo Chanel, Nick Bolton, they all becoming dogs. But like I saw what Rod said in the chat as well too. You said Tua is trying to stay the starter next year. I mean, I don't think he's gonna start over Jalen Watson. I'll say that. I think he solidified himself in the first couple games and what he did in previous seasons as well too when he had to come in. I think he can get the nod over Najee at times, but I like what they're doing with Najee Johnson, and which is I'm glad we brought this up because they're putting him out there in certain situational downs, and then in certain situational downs where he's probably not having to be the main defender in coverage, but he's coming up and making a couple decent hits as well too and making contact. So I like how they're trying to build up his confidence and keep him implemented within the defense, not trying to discourage him, but they're doing the best and putting the best guys out there that's going to make it work for them. But holding the Pittsburgh Steelers to 10 points, a team that can, of course, scorch you at any time and put up 30, that was a great performance what we had in a masterful game plan that Spagnuolo was able to put together.
Yeah, just a dominant performance, and overall very satisfied with it. The bend and break is going to be a sketchy thing week to week, and you're going to get burned at times. But the fact that you held them at 10 points and just kind of let them make their own mistakes, and then put the pressure on at the right time, was a really dominant performance. And everybody on our defense, frankly, are surefire tacklers, which is a godsend, really. Gone are the years where one-on-one tackles cannot be made, and now 2v1 tackles or a tackler breaks through a blocking defender and can bring down a tackler. So you have to be satisfied with the performance here. All the linebackers and safeties did their jobs. You could call out some secondary at bits and points, and obviously some defensive linemen down the field at weird times. But that's just Spags kind of figuring some stuff out. And it was obvious that he felt like the Steelers game was a game that he would be able to win sure-handedly. Otherwise, I don't think we would see Chris Jones standing on the sidelines in a cap, not playing. So it was very clear that Spags, had this game won, had figured out that offense, figured out Russ from last year, and was just ready to continue the dominance the last couple weeks. So you're right, it's more of a unit, and that's when this defense is at its best, when other than a few names sticking out here and there, they're better as a unit where all the attention goes on the coaching staff, much like a lot of the players like to have it, as the In Spags We Trust was the moniker for last year. So, guys, this was a fantastic Christmas. We get to celebrate a Chiefs win, a season high, a franchise-breaking 15th win, and also Mr. Travis Kelce gets to be up in the record books yet again as having the most receiving touchdowns for Kansas City Chiefs. So shout out to Travis Kelce being number one. It's something else for the Chiefs again. The retirement talks will continue, but when you're playing in an offense like this, it's okay if you're not the one that's targeted, 10 times. He had 8. He still led this game in receptions and yards and had a touchdown. And it didn't feel like Travis Kelce was the main target all game. And if that's the case, and Travis Kelce is still getting like double teams and stuff, and he's a decoy at times, this offense could be that scary good that we've been hoping for. And Dale, I think you're right. The 30-point game may be coming, and it may be saved for once the divisional round officially pulls up, because the Chiefs will not be playing in a wild card game. The number 1 seed is officially locked up. Chiefs fans can go into hibernation. They don't have to care about football until the end of January or the end of December. The first week of January is hit, and the playoff seeding is officially locked up.
Mm-hmm.
At this point in time, we are still waiting for the NFL to officially finalize what Week 18 versus the Broncos will be, whether it's going to be on Saturday, whether it's going to be on Sunday, what time is it, who knows. That game may or may not be worth covering. We'll probably do a post game in some capacity, whether all 3 of us will be there. We'll figure it out. But this was a high point. We could go on for minutes and hours about the confidence that this game left us with. But anything else, one by one, you guys want to just kind of let the people go on, send them off, finishing their Christmas day with a Chiefs win, and just what we have coming up here in the future.
I just want to say, you made the point with Travis Kelce. He got his 1,000 career reception, right? Still led the team in receptions in this game, and it feels like he haven't did anything. He's not even gonna have a 1,000-yard season once again, but he's at that age now to where I finally got some guys where I don't have to be the main focal point. We can still work with them. We can get it to Xavier Worthy. You can get it to Hollywood Brown. You got a D Hop now. He doesn't have to be that main guy to make this offense go. So, I think that puts more years on him if he does want to continue to play, because you're not going to have to, of course, go above and beyond like you had in previous seasons. So having this type of playmakers and weapons on the offense, this is going to help him overall. And I need to see people saying that they're not ready for the Super Bowl. We'll see when we get there, because that's what they say every year. We wasn't ready last season when we won the Super Bowl. So 15-1, secure the number 1 seed. We'll see what happens once it gets to the postseason, because we're not seeing them until January 18th or January 19th. So that's a good amount of time.
Yeah, and the same for me. I mean, I think I just want to say, if it is Travis's last ride, Travis, it's been a hell of a ride. We really enjoyed you. You've done everything for our organization. Like, for real, you just surpassed Tony Gonzalez today. So you've been our Tony Gonzalez, me, Dale, and Clinton. So hats off to Travis. Really enjoyed him. But if this is the last one, let's go get this one for Travis. So I love what I've seen from the Chiefs today overall. They're about to have a long layoff. You're giving a good team a new training camp. So you better get ready. Whoever they're playing in that divisional round, you're going to get a pissed off Chiefs team, because they haven't been who they were supposed to be all year, and they know that. And they finally have their guys back. So I'm just ready to see what they're gonna do and what the future holds for them. They have a mini training camp, so don't be surprised if the Chiefs come out scoring 30, y'all. They are gonna set the world on fire. They're pissed off. They're not happy about how they played this year. So they're 15-1. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna come out with their hair on fire. So can't wait to January 18th.
That's right. It's gonna feel like a long time, but this season has flown by. everything that's gone on this season, thankfully we can say we came out on top again, and it wasn't for sure or certainty, but we got to the result we were hoping for. Rest assured, all of us were incorrect on our regular season win total, but we were just being, realist. We didn't realize the Chiefs had this kind of, divine destiny to them, where they're coming out and doing things and still coming out and being capable and winning these games that kind of seem at risk at some times. But you Chiefs have 3 weeks. The players that matter have 3 weeks to kind of sit around. That was kind of dangerous, but at least we got to see a show on Christmas, and the Chiefs arguably saved their best game for last. Results to be determined whether this post game is the best game / show we've had all season. But that is going to wrap it up. We'll send you guys off to enjoy the rest of your Christmas night. Hope each and every one of you enjoy your holidays, enjoy the festivities, enjoy the time with those you care about. And the Chiefs gave you a win to make that time spent even sweeter. Enjoy this time with your families and those you love. And we're going to do the same. But first, as always, go.
Thanks for checking out this update straight from the heart of Chiefs Kingdom. We appreciate your passion, so please leave a like and follow us wherever you tune in from. See you next tailgate, your trusted source for all things Chiefs, Red Kingdom Media.